Thank goodness we had a couple of revives, because we took a battering from 2 Ponyta. What are we going to do when it's a Rapidash? Don't even want to think about it. TM27 for return. Pretty good move. Shame it's normal type, and not in the newest Pokemon games, as of this recording. Not sure why they took it out, but don't really know why a lot of different things that Niantic does, that Niantic Game Freak does. Don't know why Niantic do a lot of things they do either, but that's not what I meant. Oh, Pokemon Go. Got invited to a remote raid while I was out and about. It was a Cresselia, and I joined the raid. Everything was a bit slow to load, but not alarmingly so. But as soon as the raid started, Pokemon shows up on the screen that you picked. I think in my case it was like Darkrai or something. Crest shows up, you know, in the big image. And then what would normally happen is you'd see go, and then the timer would start going down from the top. The last 2 things never happened. so I just had 2 Pokemon guy doing the old stare off. And that was it. So that was pretty weird. I don't know if that was Niantic or if that was my phone service provider. Honestly, I suspect it was probably Niantic, because it was not as if the entire network was down or anything. I can't embarrass myself again, not in front of my girlfriend. I don't want to look bad again, not when my boyfriend is watching. Okay, settle down, you two. Luckily, it didn't cost them the actual raid completion. I was able to go back in afterwards and get it. I have done a lot of Cresselia raids, and I still don't have shiny Cresselia in Pokemon Go. And by I've done a lot, I mean a lot compared to what you would have to expect to do before you were to get one. Compared to what some other people have done, there's probably not very many at all, frankly. But in my mind, it's a lot. Mischievous is going to be a little bit tricky to take out. I'm tempted to use Leech Seed on it, but I have to make sure that Murkrow... You can't pick your enemy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, when you use Nature Power, it's a move that you're technically using on yourself, so you can't pick the target. Well... What was I saying last episode about trying to keep Riolu's happiness up? That went well. Our team is horribly weak to flying. That's why I was trying to take Murkrow out first. Because yes, Grapes is weak to flying. Cheese isn't. And Scramble isn't. But everybody else is. So that is suboptimal, I guess would be the word I would use. But the problem is Cheese is also weak to Dark and Ghost. So yeah, our type matchup against Murkrow is straight up disgusting. This is why I healed between episodes. I remembered that somebody had a Murkrow. I couldn't remember which trainer it was, I'll be the first to admit. But I remembered one of them had it, but I could not remember which one. The other issue is if I switch Cheese in, because I'm sure that Murkrow is going to use Wing Attack on Grapes. I don't think Cheese would be able to outspeed. And Murkrow has Insomnia as its ability, so I can't even use Hypnosis or Sing on it. So all of those options are terrible. So I guess what I'm doing is using Leech Seed on Murkrow and hoping I kind of get lucky. Okay, we might actually get away with this. I'm amazed that you use Wing Attack on Scramble. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very, very much for being stupid. I don't even care that Grapes got flinched. Scramble's being properly clutch. I don't know how you can be clutch when you're not really doing the attacking yourself, but Scramble's trying to make a claim for it. I don't think... Other than Astonish, though, I don't actually think Mischievous knows a Ghost-type move. And Astonish is 30 base power and a physical move, so it stinks. So Scramble's better off trying to confuse. We're going to have to use Magical Leaf. Tri-Attack will do an exact nothing to Mischievous. Speaking of mischievous, and this is a few years ago now, it shows how long I've been watching YouTube for. If anybody remembers when Sugar Conroy played GameCube Pokemon games, the AI for Gen 3 on the GameCube was very, very weird. So in one of them, you can get Mischievous as a shadow Pokemon, so you can catch it. The amount of times the AI will use moves that don't affect Mischievous is absolutely ludicrous. Like, it just doesn't seem to check for it at all. I don't really understand why. I mean, they set it up so you could have a ghost type, yet didn't plan around it. It makes no sense to me. I'm trying to think if that's XD or Colosseum. I want to say that that's Pokemon XD, but I might be wrong. They tend to blend together. I've not played either for a very, very long time. But it was so bad that it got to a point that they even had a counter for how many times they used moves that would not affect Mischievous. It was really funny. Coming here again brings back all kinds of memories of... Well, it should have been Nat and I think you'll find. Oh, dear. The Pokemon that brought me and Mike together is buried here. It's big sad. Speaking of big sad, our team looks like it's been hit by a truck. And I don't have any more revives, so Riolu is staying comatose, at least temporarily. Not that it really matters. I couldn't remember if there was a trainer at the top level. The answer is no. We do not want any part of this. We'd love to get the special attack EV. Actually, I'm kind of glad this happened in a way. So you would have noticed that we didn't use defog on this floor. So as a result, at the very start of the battle there, it said that the fog is deep. What fog does, actually that's a very frustrating thing that Ghastly just did. But what fog does is reduce the accuracy of moves. You notice that Leech Seed missed. Yeah, there's always a chance it can. Leech Seed's what, 90% accurate? But what we can do here is use Magical Leaf. Magical Leaf doesn't have the accuracy check. It just always hits if the Pokemon is in a state where it can at least be hit. So we can just use that. It's not very effective, but Ghastly has no bulk whatsoever. This isn't Generation 1. Its special defense is poor. We could still lose, though. Despite all the cards being on our side, we could still lose here. If we hit ourselves with Confusion, which we did, and then the Curse is going to do 25% damage. We can't escape because of Mean Luck. So if we don't... Okay, I was going to say, if we didn't hit with Magical Leaf on this turn, we would actually have lost. So... Oh man, our team is terrible. But it is enough to get us to level 25. We got a special attack EV. That level up was pretty standard. This is why I was determined to get this battle done. We can have Grapes evolve. There's no reason to keep a Cherubi. We get this weird guy, Cherub. I know I've spoken about Pokemon Go quite a lot in the last couple of episodes, but this is also a weird one in Pokemon Go. We'll talk about it in a minute. Alright, so we can learn Petal Dance. Petal Dance is a 90 base power grass attack. Pretty high. There are two issues with it, though. So, one issue, if you select Petal Dance, you have to let it run its course, so it can be 2 or 3 turns. The other problem is you get confused after you use it. So compared to something like Magical Leaf, there's significantly more damage capacity, but at the same time, there's significant downside. We're still going to use it for now because, as you may have noticed, our team has some major issues with killing power or fainting power. It never can quite get there most of the time. However, this may not be... The odds of Petal Dance being a permanent fixture, not super high. The other reason why I didn't want to use defog yet is that if you talk to these guys, they have different text. I can't see. This fog obscures everything. I wish this fog could be blown away like the doubt in my heart. I'm pretty sure she says the same thing. Yes, she does. That is a very, very deep comment to say this is a Pokemon game. Let's use defog. Oh, the fog is gone, and with it, all the doubt in my heart. This is my thanks. Don't be shy, take it. Spell tag, whoopie-doo. We'll talk about it in a moment. You want to talk to both, though, they have separate items to give you. So she gives you a cleanse tag. So we got 2 types of tag. This is our tag her, tag hour. Spell tag, powers up ghost type moves. Not very exciting, we don't have any. Cleanse tag, helps keep wild Pokemon away, so it just decreases the encounter rate. I mean, that's not terrible, but it doesn't help you in battle, so not great. It's effectively just a worse version of a smoke ball. Because at least if you hold a smoke ball, you're guaranteed to escape every combat. Yeah, you'll still have the combats, but you'll never have to deal with the consequences of having the combat. So I'd just rather have a smoke ball all day long. We should have one more escape rope. We do. We can't use it. Hooray! Makes no sense. Can't use it. So we have to go all the way back. We'll use a repel. Just out of curiosity, though, how much damage does this do? Pretty animation. I'll give Petal Dance that. I mean, considering it's not very effective, it's doing what? 3/4-ish? 75 or 80%, something in that region. So good, but not absolutely unbelievable. We'll show its base. We'll show its stats, I guess, before we leave as well. Let's go into our Pokemon listing. Hello, grapes. Not really grapes anymore. We're not exactly setting the world on fire. Our special attack and speed are still, what, just a shade over double the level. The defense is just a shade under. We're not, like I said, this is not a very good Pokemon. It also has an ability that, unless you're in double battle, is 100% useless. How many double battles do you think we're going to have that are going to be difficult? Not that many. And it's funny because Flower Gift only activates if the sun is out. And probably one of the hardest double battles we're going to have in the near future involves fire types. So we wouldn't want to do that anyway. So not very useful, to put it politely. Shame. Kind of a cool looking Pokemon in a way. It's a weird guy, but a lot of Pokemon are weird guys. And yes, speaking of Cherim being a weird guy in Pokemon Go, Cherim is a more common encounter in Pokemon Go than Cherubi is. And that has always been the case ever since it was released. There was an event, I want to say Q2, maybe just the end of Q1 2022, where you could actually get Cherubi as a research reward. But other than that, Cherim is way more common. I can only recall seeing maybe 4 wild Cherubi ever. Whereas Cherim seems to show up, honestly, multiple times a day, even when it's not in main Pokemon season. Like, the actual event, I guess, is not framed around it. It's hard to explain, because unlike in a standard Pokemon game where really the encounters don't change all that much on the route, really the weather can change it a smidge, and the time sometimes can change it a smidge. In Pokemon Go, the way it works is that each season, which is 3 months in length, much like seasons within the calendar, they'll have a table of Pokemon that are going to be available for that 3 months, but their rarity doesn't necessarily stay consistent either. And then you have things like community days in there that just throw it all a curveball. But yes, I don't know how in their system they ended up with Cherim being significantly more common than its pre-evolution. Who knows? Put it this way, I don't think they did it to be nice. Oh, speaking of being nice, we should probably put our Staravia in the bin for now. It is not going to be needed. We do not need defog for probably several episodes at this point. So we're going to get Maple back. Throw our Burb back. And we will probably forget that we even caught one until we need defog again. Hopefully I remember so we don't waste more time catching one in the future. I'd say it's about a 50-50. Nothing else in this town is of any importance, so we're just going to head north to Route 210. This route, notable for the fact that it hates bikes. This big fat grass, no bikes. No can do. The grass is too thick, apparently. Or do what we do in every route and go and destroy all the fauna. Just for the sake of collecting the berries that we will almost certainly never use. But, you know, gotta catch them all. Doesn't necessarily mean Pokemon. Gotta get all the berries too, I guess. Wonder what the people around that planted these think. So I imagine that if somebody just came to a route where you'd planted some nice looking berries, you'd probably not be all that happy about somebody just carving it apart to take them for themselves. I wouldn't be very happy. It's not as if they're just taking strawberries off a plant. They're ripping out the whole plant. So that's pretty rude. Less green thumb and more, you know, brown bumhole. Ooh, that was gross. Didn't even feel clean coming out of my mouth. Ugh. Ugh. Oh dear, dear. Tell I've been out in the sun too long. My Pokemon toughened up while working on the ranch. I'm right proud of them. Are you the guy that's going to wreck our day? Rancher Marco? You're not the one I'm thinking of, so you do have a Ponyta. I'm sure we're running into a Rapidash soon. I just don't remember which trainer it is. I have a horrible feeling it's a double battle, though. Why are these horses gotta be so quick? Oh. Well, we're not seeing that Pokemon evolve anytime soon, are we? Poor Riolu. Jeez Louise. At least we can have a physical attacker come out that's not weak to fire, though. Oh, boy. Can't buy luck, can Riolu right now. Who would have thought Blaine was actually quite smart? He had a Ponyta and a Rapidash, if memory serves, in red and blue. And I know at the time, we're like, oh, well, who cares? He has an Arcanine, that's really the MVP. But as we're learning, 3 generations later, in-game at the very least, it's these horses that are ruining everybody's day. Thanks, Marco. Your Pokemon sure can be counted on. If it's Riolu, it can be counted on to faint, and that's about it, my friend. You do have to use a bike to get up here. That's a double battle with 2 little girls. I would love to have used Riolu, but I guess that's not happening. Let's not use Cut. Let's take out our 2 Pokemon weak to fire, because this route, they're not going to have a huge amount of fun. Yay, we're going to battle with lots of Pokemon. We sure are. Terry and Tia, girls so short the actual grass was taller than them. Alrighty, so the Fairy and Pikachu. I don't want to use Bug Bite because we may get hit by static, but we're just going to bite the bullet. This is the other downside to Petal Dance. In a double battle, you can't choose the target. I'm hoping we can one-shot that Pikachu. There we go. So Bug Bite will genuinely go to Clefairy instead. And it's a 2-shot. Oh, Cute Charm came out instead. That's fine. That's just a 50-50 that you'll do nothing. I don't have to heal that. That will leave post-combat, much like Confusion. Has anybody ever used Cherim competitively? It's a very confusing Pokemon. It was set up for doubles, but it's just not very good. And its ability, we haven't talked a huge amount about what it actually does when you're out in the sun. So it makes Cherim change form, but it doesn't change its stats in any way, but it increases the attack and special defense of the ally Pokemon. But if you think about it, most grass types are special attackers. There are some notable exceptions to that, but the vast majority of grass types hit off the special spectrum. And it's not as if you're gonna have Cherim be offensive physically. The only Pokemon it really makes any sense that it would pair with is Groudon. I mean, that's obviously in the Ubers tier. So it doesn't make sense. This Pokemon makes no sense. I didn't remember if you were a trainer. Hey, check this out. Look at the luster of my Pokemon's fur. Alrighty. Do we get to pet a doggo? No, we don't. That's a weird looking doggo. Somebody should probably put that down. Another static ability Pokemon, though. We're just going to run the gauntlet and hope we don't get paralyzed. We will probably be heading back to the Pokemon Center soon anyway, I guess. So there's that. But yeah, I can't. If anybody has used competitive Cherim, let me know. Tell me how you used it. I'm genuinely curious because it just seems so bad. And nothing so far in game has made me think anything other than it's just terrible. The only thing going for it has been that it's learned okay grass type moves. And it hasn't even learned a fantastic array of those, just enough to be usable. That's a reasonably good level up. That was almost exclusively 2s across the board. Hey, did you take a look? I did. Everything died. The end. Like the ugly barnacle. Super Repel. We will be adding many of these to our bag in the future. Just not right now. You're another Pokemon breeder too, right? Yep, I'm a rookie breeder, but I'll do my very best. We like this trainer class. We've mentioned it before. But we like trainers that have multiple weak Pokemon. We don't particularly like when they have weak fire-type Pokemon because our team matches up so unbelievably terribly against them. I'm hoping we don't get wiped in one shot. Oh my lord, that was terrible. Magby's defense is rubbish. We just got burned. I guess that's the price you pay. But what I was going to do was switch in Maple. So I guess in a way maybe I'm happy that I didn't, so I didn't get the burn on him instead. Oh dear, dear. Magmortar's a weird Pokemon though, isn't it? It's a Generation 4 Pokemon. It's the lips. Go look up, if you're not 100% sure, a picture of Magmortar and look at the giant pink lips. It looks kind of terrifying. It's counter... well, not necessarily it's counter, but it's equivalent Generation 4 evolution that comes from the Elekid line. Looks really cool. Not particularly useful. Electivire is not a great Pokemon by any stretch of the imagination. It's a physical electric type, much like this one, and as we've seen, this is a okay, but not exactly setting the world on fire Pokemon line that we're dealing with Shinx, Luxio, and, well, will be Luxray. Physical electric types back in Generation 4 just didn't work. And they didn't work for one very, very simple reason. They don't have a good physical electric move. Like, at all. So, alright, I'm still a rookie. Yeah, so even when it fully evolves, Luxray can't learn a more powerful electric type move in this generation without any major downsides than Spark. And yes, some Pokemon... Ooh, I think that might be the Trainer of Death. Are we just going to run the risk and potentially get wiped? I guess that's what we're going to do here. We'll heal Maple. At least we'll be able to get Intimidate out. Super Potion. Oh, we only got one of those left too. Wow, we're going to have to go raid a Pokemart. I think this is the Trainer of Doom. I'll show y'all how tightly I've bonded with my daughter. I can get away with slacking off if I have my Pokemon out. Well, if you just want to loaf around and not attack, I would appreciate it, because I'm pretty sure this is Ponyta and Rapidash combo. Yeah, yes it is. We don't like this. In most runs, level 24 Rapidash would be a mild inconvenience. In this run, it's the stuff of nightmares. So we're going to try and put it to sleep. And realistically, we just have to isolate it. Okay, it's just using Fire Spin, that's fine. It doesn't have a particularly great special attack stat, so that is absolutely what we wanted it to do. If we didn't have Luxio with us, this would almost certainly be a full team wipe. At least because we do, that Intimidate is worth its weight in gold. And thank goodness this is Generation 4 Fire Spin, not Generation 1. Oh my word. Anybody's old enough to remember Generation 1, or you're watching videos from, say, like Scott's Thoughts or J-Rose 11 or whoever, because they play a lot of the old Generation 1 games. They do speedruns. It's interesting, check it out if you haven't already. Wrap in particular, because it has better accuracy than Fire Spin. If you were quicker than your opponent and you could just keep hitting with that move, they would never be able to attack, ever. Terrifying. We're not going to run the risk of it waking up, so we're just going to use Confusion. It didn't wake up anyway. So I thought this was going to be the hardest battle in this route by an absolute country mile, and arguably be harder than the gym that we took out a couple of episodes ago. It's nice to get proven wrong sometimes. Parent and child power couldn't get the job done. Oh, sheesh. Sheesh kebab. That'd be really good right now. I'd love a kebab. Delicious. Maybe I'll work that out with the barbecue after the recording. Sounds like a plan. Why are we here? What you having? Moo Moo Milk. This is why I didn't buy more super potions. So Moo Moo Milk is an equivalent price, very similar, and it just heals more health. It heals 100 hit points. This is also a location to have some battles in. It's not as if these battles reset or refresh every day or anything like that. There is a place for that we'll run into, not for a little bit, but we're going to come by that at some point in the near future. There is a building. This one doesn't do that. However, the first time I came in here as a kid, I only had one Pokemon. I was like, oh good, healing. It's a healing location. It's going to be like a Pokemon Center, but regional to kind of a cowboy, almost hick-like environment. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Oh dear, dear. Cosmic Power is a cool animation. It's a cool move. Not hugely useful, but it's cool. It gets more useful when you think about the stored power move that came out for Psychic types in Generation, 5? Because then every time you increase your stats, that move's power goes up. So it can be pretty good then. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Generation 5, because I remember seeing it on a Mushana. But that does not exist at this point, so Cosmic Power is just kind of meh. I'm a collector, and I love honey. Maybe it's putting honey in his Moo Moo Milk. Sounds pretty tasty. I'd try it. Honey milk. Munchlax. You're a big heavy boy with massive health and special defense. Not as much as Snorlax, as you can imagine. It's this is the pre-evolution. But we're going to put you to sleep. Pretty sure you give health, so I guess we'll just eat your dreams. Seems a weird move to use against a Pokemon tree that is notorious for sleeping and eating, but not going to think too much about it. I could switch Riolu in if it wasn't toast. I'd love to do that, but that's not going to happen, apparently. All right. Just stayed asleep, was very, very compliant. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. I don't know. Like, my wife's like this too. She'll sleep barely at all and function. And I'm like, hey, if I don't get 8 hours, don't talk to me because I will probably kill you. We were having a heated discussion over Pokemon the way collectors do. You'll have to tell me in the comments, you know, how much sleep is the right amount of sleep for you. So I need to get the full 8, otherwise I am probably not the best company. This gives attack. So even though I have a super effective move, no, I'm just going to accept it for what it is. Heracross does give attack EVs, but this is way too risky to switch into. It's got a massive attack stat. And as a a one-stage Pokemon, doesn't have an evolution, but I don't want to deal with the repercussions. Does it have Detect? Oh no, it was a Speed tie. That's the move that Riolu will likely use as its main same type attack bonus move in the future. Brick Break is 75 base power, so it's pretty good. It's not absolutely stunning, but it's 100% accurate, has more PP than Force Palm. That was a lot of experience. Thanks, Fernando. Knowledge alone isn't everything, you know. But it also has the side effect of destroying Reflect and Light Screen. Not that helpful in game, but it's cool. Not great, but cool. We'll switch Cheese, because Cheese is starting to hoard all the experience. Youngster, you've seen the Psyduck huddled outside. I have, but I haven't talked about them yet. Stop spoiling it. Psyduck are Pokemon that suffer from chronic headaches. You'll just have to wait for them to get better. Yeah, I didn't talk to this person first when I first played this game, so I didn't know. Anyway, here are the Psyduck. They're very cute. They aren't inclined to move at all. Definitely a more imaginative roadblock than some things we've seen in newer games. Like in X and Y, where there's a power person like, hey, the power's out. You can't go over to that side of the city. But you can see in the background all the lights are on. Anyway, let me go back and heal. I'm probably going to grab... I don't remember if we can get revives yet. Anyway, I'm going to go grab some supplies. I will be back. Thank you for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to stick around.